Aristotle Onassis was a buccaneering 20th-century entrepreneur. He was a well-known shipowner. He owned the world-famous Monte Carlo casino, and he married the widow of President John F. Kennedy. What's less well-known is that Onassis was the ultimate international citizen. He believed passionately in freedom. He never trusted governments and structured his life to be completely free and depend on nobody. Onassis had multiple citizenships, used offshore foundations and flags of convenience long before it was common. Here are 11 ways Onassis structured his business and life for maximum freedom. 1. Onassis was the ultimate global citizen. He was a lifetime perpetual traveler, with homes around the world. After the First World War, Onassis' father lost all the family money and was thrown in a concentration camp. Aristotle managed to avoid imprisonment by lying about his age. He was able to use a refugee passport to board a ship for Argentina. 2. Speak multiple languages. Speaking multiple languages enabled him to become a global citizen and do business around the world. While speaking multiple languages is not essential for maximum freedom, it certainly helps do business around the world. 3. Multiple residencies. Onassis never lived permanently in his home country. Onassis had residences in Greece, the US, Monte Carlo, Paris and Uruguay. He split his time between them, and he would not have been liable to pay tax in any one country. Even in high-tax countries like France and the US, he would not have become a taxpayer unless he spent more than 6 months there every year. 4. Bank globally for maximum freedom. After having suffered poverty early in life, Onassis was determined to protect his fortune. As well as making sure he was never taxed by governments, he had multiple backup plans. He spoke about having at least $1 million stashed in each continent of the world for a rainy day. 5. Set up an offshore foundation. Onassis set up a foundation in Liechtenstein to protect his wealth. He did this for estate planning reasons. But he also believed in the philosophy of own nothing but control everything. This made any attempt to seize his assets impossible. The Onassis Foundation still exists in Liechtenstein today, almost 40 years after his death. 6. Operate global businesses. Onassis never depended on any one country or any one business for his wealth. He acquired businesses and assets across the globe. He owned ships that were operated under the flags of several countries. He owned Greece's national airline and the Monte Carlo casino. No one government could put him out of business. 7. Have multiple citizenships for maximum freedom. It's safe to say that Onassis would not have depended on just one country for his citizenship. He held multiple passports to guarantee his freedom. 8. Change jurisdictions if not treated fairly. Onassis was once experiencing bureaucratic difficulties with one of his tankers that operated under the Greek flag. Becoming tired of the delays with Greek bureaucracy, Onassis took the matter into his own hands. He had his lawyers work behind the scenes to re-register the ship in another jurisdiction. One evening he invited the Greek ambassador on board the ship in Monte Carlo harbor. He presented the ambassador with a gift of a neatly wrapped Greek flag. "Mr. Ambassador," he said, "you are now on board a Panamanian vessel. If the rules of the jurisdiction you're operating in don't treat you fairly, take action to change your situation. 9. Avoid international conflicts. Onassis avoided politics and international conflicts. He spent the Second World War on the beach in Monaco. Much of his shipping fleet had been impounded in Stockholm. During other conflicts, his tankers were available to the highest bidder. To achieve maximum freedom, it's wise to get as far away from international conflicts as possible. 10. Always minimize taxes. Onassis operated businesses globally from multiple jurisdictions. He used foundations and trust in Liechtenstein and elsewhere. His main headquarters was in Monaco, where he kept his yacht and owned the SBM. At the time, Monaco didn't have corporate taxes, so his empire was able to expand tax-free, ensuring his position as one of the world's richest men in the 1960s. 11. Take advantage of opportunities. The world was surprised when Onassis took control of Monaco's SBM in the 1960s. Control of the SBM gave him economic control of Monaco. The SBM ran the casinos and hotels in Monaco. The shares were traded on the French stock exchange. They traded cheaply and anybody could have bought them at the time. But Onassis was the only one with the audacity to do it. It put him in direct conflict with Price Rainier of Monaco, but he didn't care. He grabbed the opportunity when it was there. Onassis was one of the first truly international citizens. He fiercely protected his own interests and made sure he never became reliant on any one country. He recognized the dangers of having only one passport. He was aware that having all his assets in one country could lead to disaster and ruin. He diversified and internationalized his life. He was prepared for any eventuality. That's something that all of us can and should do.